Your attention, please. As our ceremony is about to begin, we would first like to present an award for the Chaplain Dugan Purse. This award is in memory of Reverend Michael Francis Dugan, class of 1924, who was a chaplain in the United States Army. This is for someone who has shown excellence in military science and athletics, given by the very revered Monsieur John D. Dugan, class of 1921. The awardee is Cadet Timothy Skinner. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, faculty members, family, and friends. On behalf of Niagara University President Father James Marr and the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Lucas, his staff, and cadets, I welcome you to Niagara University's United States Army Reserve Officer Training Corps 2022 Spring Commissioning Ceremony. At this time, we ask that you please stand for the posting of the colors and the playing of the national anthem. We ask that you remain standing for the invocation and blessing of the rank offered by Father Rooney. Ladies and gentlemen, Father Rooney.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, that all may know thee, ut omnes te conoscant. How can we, of various faiths, pray this together? What do you want of us, O gracious God? What have you shown me? That all may say yes to your gift of life and of labor, of family and of rest, of study and of discovery, of building, planting, healing, and so much more. That all may say yes to that which has been entrusted to them. In this you come to be known. In your graciousness you have opened a door to that knowledge, and in it, these who are about to enter upon a sacred office have discovered in a deeper fashion a greater part of the truth to be known that you have sown in the fields of their undergraduate endeavors. But you ask of them, O God, something more than you ask of their peers. Like our patron, St. Vincent de Paul, they both chose and are chosen. These commissions conferred are evidence of their efforts, the efforts and recognition of their leaders, and the esteem of their country. We have brought this stage of the journey to completion, and with what you do present us, O God, is another door. And again the questions which arise in our hearts. What do you want of us? What have you shown us? That they might see clearly the threats to freedom and peace, that they might hear clearly the values and the testament to honor of those who have died in battle, and say with them and all who will come after, this will defend. With this honor, with this pledge, you come to be known. Amen.
Father Rooney will now bless the gold bar worn by the second lieutenant. These ranks being blessed will be worn on the berets of the newly commissioned officers.
Bless the bars to be worn proudly by these graduates, you representatives of our country and of their comrades in arms, O God. For those who follow him and for those who do not, yet esteem his name and his mission, I say with Saint Teresa of Avila what I hope for each of them. Christ has no body now, but yours, my friends. No hands, no feet on earth, but yours. Yours are the eyes through which he looks with compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which he walks to do good. Yours are the hands through which he blesses all the world. You are the hands, you are the feet, you are the eyes, you are his body. Christ has no body now on earth but yours. Heavy the burden on their shoulders, O God, to lead as true servants. May they wear the sign of their rank with confidence, with clarity, with purpose. Make this prayer effective in their lives, O God. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Allow me to introduce our honored guests and cadre. Niagara University Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Tim Ireland, the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Lucas, as well as military instructors, Captain Andrew Bamba, Master Sergeant Angel Cruz, Master Sergeant Christopher King, Sergeant First Class James Allen, Mr. Gerard Subchek, Mr. Sean Donahue, Ms. Jessie Moretti, and Ms. Nani Bailey. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to now introduce Major U.S. Army retired Jerry Privatera from the Western New York chapter of the Military Officers Association of America, or MOAA. On behalf of the men and women of the Western New York MOAA chapter, please accept the chapter's challenge coin as a token of appreciation for what you are about to undertake. Challenge coins, bearing symbols and mottos, capture the essence of a military unit and serve to instill pride through membership affiliation. They are a part of military life today and are revered by troops in every branch of service. As an organization, the Military Officers Association of America's greatest mission is to improve the lives of those who serve and their families, which is achieved largely through the tireless advocacy efforts taking place in our nation's capital. MOAA's experts in Washington are there to support legislation that benefits the military community and are equally vigilant when fighting to stop legislation that threatens our livelihood. The men and women of our local MOAA chapter are just as proud of their unit as are the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coasties deployed around the globe in defense of this great nation. We wish you the best. Serve with pride. Thank you, Major Privatera. Now please join me in welcoming the Niagara University Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Lucas.
Good morning, Dr. Ireland, Father Rooney, Colonel Barcombe, Colonel Chikansky. Good morning, distinguished guests, friends, and family, and welcome to today's ceremony. I'd like to first extend a special thanks to the family and friends of the cadets. Your support is what helps push aspiring officers through the daily challenges of our program and ensures they get to sit in front of you all today. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank all of the Niagara University administration, faculty, and staff for all your support. Your dedication to our program is amazing, and we wouldn't be the pride of the brigade and the community without your support. Thank you. Cadets, in less than an hour, we'll be signing your DA-71s. I know it's been a long journey to get here, and it's not always been easy. You've had tough times, late nights, cold mornings, and a pandemic to boot. Just always remember that the most important lessons you'll take from ROTC can't be taught through a PowerPoint slide. Your flexibility in leadership, ability to affect mission command, your empathy, your grit to move forward through adversity, the ability to achieve success, not only on your best day, but also your worst, are the hard lessons that you've learned through the worst days, and it's those lessons that build great officers. The Army needs leaders of character who are competent, confident, and know how to get results, and down to the person, that's exactly what they're getting today. Congratulations. These guys, a round of applause. Now allow me to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon's ceremony, Colonel Jamie Barcombe. Colonel Barcombe was born in Albany, New York, and now resides in Amherst with his wife Colleen and their children Michael, Laura, and Thomas. Colonel Barcombe entered military service in May of 1992 as a field artillery officer after completing the Army ROTC program at Niagara University. He has held various command and staff positions as a member of active duty force, the United States Army Reserves, and the New York Army National Guard. In 2004, as a member of the 98th Division USAR, Colonel Barcombe deployed as a military transition team leader with an Iraq infantry battalion conducting security force assistance in Fallujah, Iraq. After transitioning to the National Guard in 2006, he served as the 42nd Division Staff Officer, commander of the 27th Brigade Special Troops Battalion, and is currently the 153rd Troop Command Brigade Commander. As a member of the New York Army National Guard, Colonel Barcombe participated in major training events, including a 27th Brigade JRTC rotation, a 42nd Division warfighter exercise, as well as overseas training exercises in Japan, South Korea. Colonel Barcombe also mobilized for domestic support to civil authorities in response to Tropical Storm Irene and Hurricane Sandy, as well as the Defense Civil Disturbance Response Operations in Washington, D.C., and support for the 59th presidential inauguration in January 2021. His awards include the Joint Meritorious Unit Award, Legion of Merit, Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Joint Service Achievement Medal, Army Achievement Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, Korean Defense Service Medal, Army Reserve Components Overseas Training Ribbon, District of Columbia Emergency Service Ribbon, Presidential Inauguration Support Ribbon, New York Military Commendation Medal, New York Exercise Support Ribbon, New York Humane Service Medal, Basic Parachutist Badge, Air Assault Badge, and a Combat Action Badge. Please help me welcome Colonel Jamie Barcombe.
Make a little room here. All right. Well, formerly cadets, now lieutenants, we're really excited to have you here today and celebrate an amazing accomplishment. Dr. Ireland, Father Rooney, Colonel Lucas, thank you for your invitation here today to address our newest group of Army leaders. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be here today. To the family members and friends here today, to those who are present in spirit, Thank you for your support that has enabled these men and women who will go on to lead those who represent less than 1% of our country's population who are willing and able to serve in uniform. It's an amazing, really an amazing responsibility that they'll take on. To you, the Niagara University Commissioning Class of 2022, congratulations again. And I'm privileged to be here today to really offer you one final military science lecture, before you head out from this great institution. There's no credits for this class, but the good news is there's no cost either. So unlike many of the classes you took here at Niagara University, this one's free. And it's oftentimes what we refer to in the military as free chicken. So I ask that you consider these words for what they are, and I hope they offer some value to you as you begin your journey into the profession of arms. Almost 30 years ago today, I was on this campus, sitting in these seats over here where you sit today. And I was feeling certainly very proud of my accomplishments that day. I was confident in the knowledge and skill that I had gained, and I was very excited about what I would experience in my next assignment. But I also felt some apprehension about the challenges that I would face and whether or not I would be up to the task of leading others. Today, I expect you're experiencing similar feelings, and I would say, first and foremost, you should certainly be very proud of the status which you have worked so hard for and have earned through your demonstrated performance. But similarly, you might also be feeling some doubts and uncertainty about the future, and this is what I want to talk to you about today. I'd like to offer you my perspective by sharing a few things that I see are uniquely different today from when I was commissioned. And I'm not talking about, the fact that we now have Dwyer Arena and Bisgrove Hall and the Salvatore Commons. Those are all new, and it's a great testament to this university and how they continue to invest in it. And but that's not what I'm talking about in terms of some differences. I'll also spend a little bit of time here talking about things that are very similar at the present moment when comparing my worldview at the time I was getting ready to commission. And again, I'm not talking about the Bills winning back-to-back AFC East championships and having a quarterback that's poised to take them to the Super Bowl, but that was, in fact, the case when I was here as an undergraduate. And lastly, I'll reflect a little bit on some constants. And the constants I'm talking about aren't the ones such as the fact that the Military Science Department will forever be situated below, Alumni Hall? No, it's now St. Vincent's. I'm still trying to get used to that. But no, certainly some other constants, principles of good leadership that I hope will prepare you for your role as commissioned officers. So first, what's different? What is materially different? Being that nearly 3 decades have passed from when I was pinning on my bars, it's easy for me to see some of the most significant changes in your operational environment compared to mine. You are entering into service at a time where new domains of cyber and space will continue to significantly alter the battlefield geometry and the character of conflict, requiring you to remain agile and consider not only new opportunities and outcomes, but also the associated risks that were unfathomable to me as a new second lieutenant. You also benefit from many new technologies and systems that leverage advanced automation, artificial intelligence, renewable energy, stealth camouflage, and a number of medical advancements that will present you with a completely different range of tactical options to consider in your decision-making process. However, the other difference that is very apparent to me is the diminished global advantage of the U.S. military today. Today, our adversaries are quickly closing the technological gap that I suspect will result in the emergence of one or more near-peer adversaries before you leave service. So to be sure, these are significant differences from the experience I encountered upon commissioning. And these are things that you're going to contend with during your time in the Army. And you'll need to understand these. But what may surprise you is how similar your present condition actually is to my experience nearly 3 decades earlier. As the quote often attributed to Mark Twain reminds us, history does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. You know, on the day of my commissioning, as you may be feeling today, the world seemed to be an uncertain landscape. So different from the paradigms I'd grown up with, believing that they were absolutes. So to give you a sense of context and concept here, think about this. When I was here as an undergraduate from 1988 to 1992, in that period of time, the Cold War had come to a shocking end, followed by the rapid dissolution of the former Soviet Union, with several former Soviet republics quickly embracing more democratic tendencies. China was experiencing an incredible economic growth, and in a rapidly globalized world, it seemed to be moving more towards an open economy. Most significantly for me, however, and at that time, was that America had demonstrated unparalleled military capability and dominance during the Gulf War, with near flawless execution of air-land battle and joint doctrine, emerging as the sole military superpower in the world. This had some questioning at the time the future role of the military and whether a large standing army was still needed. It did not take long, however, to realize that new threats were emerging, and on September 11th, 2001, it became clear how dangerous the world was and how important it was to maintain a trained, equipped, and ready force with capable leadership to fight and win our nation's wars. I share this bit of background to emphasize that while my experience and the times I served were unique, we also share a common experience of entering commissioned service in a world undergoing major upheavals, resulting in uncertainty about threats and the assigned missions you will undertake. So now this brings me to our constants. So throughout your military career, you will study. This isn't the end of school, by the way. It's really just the beginning. And you'll study military science and military theory and military strategy. You may even quote Karl von Clausewitz in a paper or two, who described the enduring nature of our world and warfare. So I'm going to set that one aside for a little bit. You'll get that plenty more as you go. What I'd rather do is spend a little bit of time talking about the more practical and enduring necessity for effective leadership for our Army that must always be ready to provide for our common defense, regardless of the temporal situations of any given generation. This is constant. So the way I'd like to do this is I'd like to tell you a little personal story, okay? And I'll share my first unit experience, which taught me many lessons about effective leadership, which I learned from my first non-commissioned officer I worked with, Staff Sergeant Angel Cologne. So on my first duty day at Fort Riley, Kansas, shortly after graduating from the Field Artillery Officer Basic Course, I reported into 4th Battalion, 5th Field Artillery, Hamilton Zone. Home, Fort Riley was home of the 1st Infantry Division, Big Red 1. I was greeted by my battery executive officer, who walked me down to the motor pool and introduced me to Staff Sergeant Cologne, the Tactical Fire Direction Center non-commissioned officer in charge, the FDC NCOIC. Giving you a few more acronyms to add to your repertoire before you leave. So this was a team I was going to lead, be responsible for in my first assignment. He was there at the M577 command post vehicle, which is essentially a 6-foot by 8-foot metal box on tracks. And it was barely big enough for the 6-man team it was designed to hold. So the team was going through crew drill, which is where each member of the team performs specific and critical tasks that all work together to generate a technical firing solution, and that allows the unit to fire artillery rounds. Crew drill had to be accurate, consistent, and fast, and there was little margin for error. As the NCOIC, Staff Sergeant Cologne was responsible for training the section on the proper execution of crew drill, which required discipline and precision. It was necessary for this to occur for the team to function effectively. So he stepped out of the vehicle, welcomed me to the team, and explained the team's training objective for the day, to ensure the team was properly cross-trained on each other's jobs. You see, Sergeant Cologne didn't just train his team members to know their specific jobs, but to know everyone else's job. He did this for two reasons. One, if the team was shorthanded for any reason, another team member could step up, temporarily fill the gap, allowing the team to accomplish its mission. The other reason was to ensure that everyone understood and appreciated the value of the other team member. As the newest member of the team, I would be treated no different. So like I said, there are 6 positions in the Fire Direction Center. The radio telephone operator, the RTO, who receives and records the call for fire on a manual log from the forward observer. The horizontal control officer, the HCO, who works on a 3-foot by 3-foot chart with a range deflection protractor, this 2-foot metal ruler with a 90-degree arc on it. It looks like a medieval battle axe. And this is used to measure the distance to the target. And then there's the vertical control officer, the VCO, who determines proper elevation for the gun tubes based on the HCO's determined range to the target, and also the type of munition being fired. So the VCO uses these series of tables and these books, archaic books, and these 2 wooden slide rules to calculate the solution for firing. And then there's the Fire Direction Center NCOIC, the FD NCOIC. He orchestrates all the chaos inside the 6-foot by 8-foot metal box as the team works feverishly to get the firing order gathered and sent down to the gun line. But only after I, the Fire Direction Officer, or FDO, verified the firing solution is safe. All of these steps had to happen in a matter of seconds without any mistakes or miscommunication to safely and accurately deliver a 100-pound artillery shell to the intended target, sometimes as far as 10 miles away. Now, my first day, my unit, I was vaguely familiar with the 4 weeks of manual gunnery that I had gone through. I had taken and passed the test at the Field Artillery Officer Basic course, but I was certainly no expert and at best functionally literate. Nonetheless, Sergeant Cologne turned to me with a wry smile and asked me to work the chart as the HCO for the next mission. I was temporarily mortified at the prospect of bearing my lack of skill in front of this new team, and even sheepishly admitted, I am a bit rusty. No problem, Sergeant Cologne said. We will keep working on it until you're good to go. So after about 5 iterations of missions, I was moving along pretty well, which is when we rotated, and I was moved to the VCO position, the vertical control officer, where I struggled. But again, I got my legs under me, and eventually I was processing missions with an adequate level of proficiency where Sergeant Cologne, again, directed the team to rotate. This time moving me to the RTO position, where I had more confidence and skill, but I could feel the pace of the missions increasing. And I was making mistakes in the manual log that was quickly identified and corrected by Staff Sergeant Cologne. We rotated again, and I moved over to the computer, which was my strongest position, since automated gunnery was the last block of instruction I received at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, the Field Artillery Basic Officer course. It was still pretty fresh in my mind. Now, after a number of missions, Staff Sergeant Cologne then asked me to take his spot as a Fire Direction NCO, and he moved to the Fire Direction Officer position in the team. Certainly, I was very focused on doing the job of the Fire Direction NCO. I wanted to do it well, but I was equally attentive to what Staff Sergeant Cologne was doing while acting as the fire direction officer, the position I knew I was moving to next. While I was taught the job of the fire direction officer at the Field Artillery School, it was clear to me that Staff Sergeant Cologne had years of experience in this job. He probably had seen a dozen FDOs just like me in his career. And I knew that he knew my job better than I would ever know that job in the brief time I would be assigned to it. But he was showing me what right looked like, and he was sharing with me what he had learned through his experience. As expected, after about 4 hours of continuous training, rotating through each job on the team, I finally rotated into my job, the fire direction officer, where we ran through several more iterations, more than we had on any other rotation, working out the kinks, discussing what we did right and what we messed up on, both as individuals and as a team. And we kept training until we got it right. At some point, Sergeant Cologne turned to me and he asked if I was satisfied with the training for the day and if it was okay for him to release the team for chow. Now, I knew there was much more work to do, and I knew that we would be conducting more crew drill in the days ahead. But I fundamentally understood what he was saying at that moment. I was now responsible for the team. And as the officer in charge, I would be the ultimate decision maker. I also knew Sergeant Cologne worked hard that day to earn my trust. And I was confident from that day forward, he would always give me his best advice and his best effort. I had also hoped I was able to earn an equal amount of trust from him and my team so they knew I would be as committed to the mission as they were, and I would be willing to put in the hard work to help them succeed. We wrapped up for the day. Now, I don't know if you're going to have a Staff Sergeant Cologne on your first assignment or not, but I want you to take away from this story a few of the following points as you contemplate keys to success in your first assignment. First, be humble. Don't feel like you need to know everything your first day on the job, but always seek self-improvement. Be a lifelong learner. Never stop learning. Know when you need to rely on others, and be willing to accept advice and assistance from others. Second, don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying. So take accountability for your mistakes and move on. Train hard in the motor pool and in the training area when you have the chance so you can minimize the mistakes on the battlefield. Third, never forget that every soldier has value. Seek to understand and be empathetic to their challenges. Get to know them and ensure they are always treated with dignity and respect by creating an environment that is free from hostility, harassment, and abuse. Take care of them, and they will take care of you. Fourth, trust is essential for any high-performing team. It's very hard to build and maintain, but very easy to lose. You will demonstrate you are a trusting and trustworthy leader through your character, your competence, and your commitment. You cannot just say it. You have to do it. Lastly, at the end of the day, even though you may not be the expert, you are still responsible for everything and everyone under your charge. And everyone will be looking to you to set the example and make the hard decisions. Embrace this responsibility and do your duty to the best of your ability and with professionalism. So with that, I again want to congratulate you, the commissioning class of 2022. I wish you all the best in your future career and other endeavors, and I want to thank you all for your service to our country.
Thank you, Colonel Barcombe. The tradition of the first salute goes back to the beginning of the American military, when individuals wishing to serve as officers hired career soldiers to teach drill and regulations, and paid them upon commissioning. We continue to honor this tradition in the United States Army by paying a silver dollar to the first enlisted soldier to salute following the receipt of a commission. The coin represents more than a dollar in currency. To every new officer, it has a special significance. It represents the symbolic receipt of respect due a newly earned rank and position. It signifies a deep sense of gratitude for the knowledge enlisted personnel, especially NCOs, have passed on to them during training. It is an acknowledgement from one professional to another, saying welcome to our service and to the profession of arms. The coin is an expression of mutual respect and lays the groundwork for many years of teamwork to come between officers and NCOs. Once each new officer's name is called, we ask that the pinners of rank and those individuals offering the first salute please come forward. As a reminder, please feel free to come forward and take pictures. The first officer presented is Second Lieutenant Allison McCormick, distinguished military graduate, who is branched Chemical Corps. She will be pinned by her parents, Dave and Betsy McCormick, and her sister, Haley McCormick. Second Lieutenant Allison McCormick will receive her first salute from Master Sergeant Christopher King, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Allison McCormick. The next officer presented is Second Lieutenant Aaron White, a distinguished military graduate who has branched armor. He will be pinned by his parents, Wallace and Colleen White. Second Lieutenant Aaron White will receive his first salute from his grandfather, former Senior Airman Robert Stevens, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Aaron White. The next officer presented is Second Lieutenant Vincent Carney, who is branched armor. He will be pinned by his parents Linda and Vincent Nicholas Carney and his brother Liam Carney. Second Lieutenant Vincent Carney will receive his first salute from former Staff Sergeant Vincent Clarence Carney, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Vincent Carney. The next officer presented is Second Lieutenant Zachary Ketchmark, who is Branch Nurse Corps. He will be pinned by his father, Michael Ketchmark. Second Lieutenant Zachary Ketchmark will receive his first salute from Master Sergeant Christopher King, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Zachary Ketchmark. The next officer presented is Second Lieutenant Alina Rowland, who is Branch Nurse Corps. She will be pinned by her parents Jennifer and Jason Rowland. Second Lieutenant Alina Rowland will receive her first salute from Master Sergeant Christopher King, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Alina Rowland. The next officer presented is Second Lieutenant John Chimay, who is Branch Nurse Corps. He will be pinned by his stepmother Michelle Chimay and mother Elizabeth Zinda. Second Lieutenant John Chimay will receive his first salute from Master Sergeant Christopher King, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant John Chimay. The next officer presented is Second Lieutenant Timothy Skinner, who is Branch Military Police. He will be pinned by his brother David Skinner and his mother Lori Skinner. Second Lieutenant Timothy Skinner will receive his first salute from retired Senior Chief Petty Officer David Skinner, United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Timothy Skinner. The final officer presented is Second Lieutenant Zachary Zajac, who is Branch Transportation. He will be pinned by his parents Jennifer Dabrowski and Brian Zajac and his fiancée June Ayu. Second Lieutenant Zachary Ketchmark has elected to defer his first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Zachary Ketchmark. Please allow me to now reintroduce Colonel Jamie Barcombe to the stage to give the commissioning oath to our new second lieutenants. We will now hear from Niagara University Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Tim Ireland.
Well, Colonel, thanks for your comments this afternoon. Holy cow. I couldn't ask for a better definition of what good leadership is, so thank you for that thoughtful talk. It's an honor to stand before you this afternoon, Colonel Lucas, the cadre, our guests here today, and our newly commissioned second lieutenants. So I just have a thought or two that I'd like to share. So the Purple Eagle Battalion is one of the top ROTC programs in the United States. And that you are part of this incredible legacy of service to country is something that each of you should carry with you as a source of pride. 2 Medal of Honor recipients, Grace, Niagara University. William Wild Bill Donovan, 1918, World War I, France. John Bobo, 1967, Vietnam. Incredible legacy of service at this institution. So the Purple Eagle Battalion, what does it mean? What should it mean? I'll start with the color purple. Purple is a really good color. Purple is a range of hues of color falling between red and blue. It balances the energy of red with the stability of blue. Purple is the color of power, leadership, faith, independence, kindness, high ideals, and compassion. I'm going to highlight 2 of these, leadership and compassion. I got to be honest with you, I have no idea how to define leadership, but I know it when I see it. Good leaders walk the talk. He or she is trusted and is known to live his or her life with honesty and integrity. A good leader will always roll up her sleeves and get her hands dirty. She'll never ask others what she will not do herself. A good leader inspires confidence in others. They remain calm and composed in stressful situations, consistently pursuing excellence. Look, leaders lead by example. They identify strengths and focus on the positive. They encourage risk and they tolerate mistakes. They own their own errors, willing to admit that they are human. They make those around them better. Second is compassion. I gotta be honest with you, I lifted this definition right from Wikipedia. Hope you guys have never done that in your papers. Compassion is empathy and sympathy for the suffering of others, regarded as a part of love itself and a cornerstone of greater social connection and humanism. The feeling commonly gives rise to a desire to alleviate others' suffering. It is often, though not inevitably, the key component of what manifests in the social context as altruism. You can't ask for a better color. Purple is the color of leadership and compassion. So quite simply, I ask you to live purple. And so how do you juxtaposition the color purple against the bald eagle? Eagles are the largest living raptor on the planet. All birds, all raptors, every single one of them except the eagle, before they engage, you know what they do? Every raptor except the bald eagle glances over his or her shoulder. Why? It's a genetic wiring to prevent the predator from becoming prey. Right? Guess what raptor doesn't do that? The eagle. When the eagle engages without fear. The eagle engages with confidence. You may not know this, but the bald eagle has reappeared in the lower Niagara River in recent years, fishing and nesting along the riverbanks. These eagles weigh up to 9 pounds, 7 or 8 foot wingspan. They glide on the thermals. They can reach speeds of 35 miles an hour. When they dive, they can reach speeds of 90 miles an hour. These eagles that have reappeared in the lower Niagara are awesome creatures, fierce warriors, territorial and loyal. When a bald eagle finds a mate, they generally stay together for life. They are graceful, almost majestic, soaring hundreds of feet above the ground. I think you take the pure power and dominance of the bald eagle and you wrap it in purple, and you have exactly what you are meant to be. Dominant and powerful, but compassionate. Confident, fearless, but with wisdom and dignity. In the reality, the perfect balance between power and the concern for others. So in closing, never forget who you are. Never forget where you come from. You are all Purple Eagles. I congratulate you as newly commissioned second lieutenants. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Father Rooney will now give the benediction and remain standing for the playing of the Army Song and the retiring of the colors. Please refer to page 15 of the program for the lyrics of the Army Song.
Let us pray. Bless these officers, O God. Bless their leaders and all who have offered them support. Bless their family and friends. Keep us all safe from harm. Hold us all true to the commitments we have made. Bless us with strength to contend with any challenge we face. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the United States Army's newest second lieutenants. This concludes this evening's ceremony. Lieutenant Colonel Lucas and the Purple Eagle Battalion appreciate your attendance at this evening's commissioning ceremony. There will be a reception immediately following the ceremony located to the rear of the Gallagher Center. Thank you for your attendance this evening.